Welcome to our channel. Today we're re-diving into the world of rare valuable in the years following World War II. The United States entered a time of rapid industrial growth, suburban expansion, and increasing global influence. Yet, while the world was changing, one piece of American coinage remained steadfast: the Lincoln wheat cent, commonly known as the Wheat Penny. This humble copper coin, first struck in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, would carry his enduring legacy through the decades. Today, we journey through a specific chapter of its history, the Liberty Wheat Pennies from 1951, 1952, 1957, and 1958. The first step was 1952, a time when America stood at the crossroads of tradition and progress. The shadows of World War II had faded into memory, and the Korean War loomed overseas. At home, prosperity bloomed. Families gathered around black and white televisions, suburbs grew, and an entire generation, the baby boomers, came of age. Through it all, one coin quietly changed hands in lunch counters, payphones, and corner shops. The 1952 Lincoln Wheat Penny, often affectionately called the Liberty Wheat Cent. This simple copper coin was far more than pocket change. It was a symbol of American endurance in everyday life. First minted in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the wheat cent was a groundbreaking design. It was the first American coin to feature a real historical figure. Created by Victor David Brenner, the coin's obverse displays a detailed right-facing bust of Lincoln, firm and stoic. The reverse shows two curved stalks of durum wheat, encircling the words 1 cent and United States of America, representing agricultural strength and national unity. By 1952, the design had endured for over 4 decades, becoming one of the most recognized coins in U.S. history. In 1952, Lincoln Wheat Pennies were struck at 3 United States Mint facilities. Mintage 186,856,980, located in the nation's birthplace. Philadelphia's mint served as the oldest and most historically significant U.S. coin-producing site. Mintage 746,130,000. The Denver Mint, nestled in Colorado, was the workhorse of U.S. cent production in the 1950s, responsible for the lion's share of 1952 pennies. Mintage 137,800,000 for one of the final years that San Francisco produced Lincoln cents before ceasing regular cent production. Coins from this mint were distributed primarily in the western U.S. In total, more than 1.07 billion wheat pennies were minted in 1952, a testament to the expanding post-war economy and consumer demand. The social and political climate of 1952 was marked by global tension and domestic growth. The Korean War was ongoing, and the United States was deep into the Cold War arms race with the Soviet Union. But at home, optimism reigned. Dwight D. Eisenhower would be elected president in November, ushering in a decade of highway construction, economic growth, and suburban expansion. During this period, the Lincoln Wheat Penny served as a common coin of commerce, tossed into soda machines, used in candy shops, and saved by school children in piggy banks across the country. The 1952 Wheat Penny maintained the standard design and composition of the era. Obverse: Abraham Lincoln, right-facing profile reverse, 2 wheat ears, 1 cent, United States of America, and E pluribus unum. Designer: Victor D. Brenner. Composition: 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc. Weight: 3.11 grams. Diameter: 19.05 millimeters. Edge: plain. Mint marks: D. Denver, S. San Francisco, or none. Philadelphia. Brenner's initials, VDB, were removed from the reverse after the 1909 debut, but later restored to the obverse in 1918. Below Lincoln's shoulder. Most 1952 Lincoln cents that remain today are found in circulated condition. These coins were used extensively in the economy of the 1950s. Color usually toned brown, BN, or red-brown RB, due to oxidation over time, where flattening on Lincoln's cheek, jawline, and coat. Soft details in the wheat stalks grade range, commonly found between very good VG8 and extremely fine EF-40. Philadelphia no mint mark, 5 cents 15 cents. Denver D. $0.050. Des San Francisco's 5 cents 20 cents, even in circulated condition. These pennies hold value as collectible historical artifacts. Coins that were saved from circulation, often directly from mint rolls, remain in uncirculated mint state condition and can command collector premiums. RD Red, bright original mint red luster. RB Red Brown, mix of red and brown toning. BN Brown, completely oxidized to chocolate or darker brown. MS62 MS62, flat luster, numerous contact marks. MS63 to MS64, moderate eye appeal, fewer distractions. MS65 to MS66, strong strike, full red color, minimal marks. MS67 plus, exceptional quality. Rare and valuable mint MS63 RB MS65 RD MS66 RD 1952 P $5 $1,020 $35,501,952 D $37 $15 $2,545 plus $195 to $6 $1,225 $4,060 plus. Note: 1952S coins are slightly tougher to find in full red with sharp detail, making high-grade examples more sought after. Although no major doubled dies or ultra-rare varieties are officially catalogued for the 1952 Wheat Penny, collectors often seek repunched mint marks RPMs, especially from Denver and San Francisco. Mint's die cracks and cuts off center strikes, visually striking errors with increased value B, errors small die break between the B and E in Liberty. These minor anomalies can increase interest and value among variety collectors. The 1952 Wheat Penny circulated for decades, often lasting 30 to 40 years in use before being retired from commerce in the late 20th century. These coins traveled coast to coast, handed out as change in New York, Los Angeles, Kansas City, and everywhere in between. They help buy bubblegum, pay tolls, and feed parking meters, a tangible link to mid-century American life. Today, the 1952 Wheat Penny is a staple in most Lincoln cent collections, not because it's rare, but because it represents a defining era in American numismatics. Collectors often included incomplete Lincoln wheat sets 1909 to 1958, year-type collections, mint mark comparisons, PDS sets. It offers new collectors a low, high-history entry into coin collecting and offers experienced numismatist opportunities to seek high-grade red examples and minor varieties. The 1952 Liberty Wheat Penny may seem simple, just a 1-cent coin, pressed from copper pot, from hand to hand. But it's so much more. It's a relic from the dawn of the television age, the days of Eisenhower, of jukeboxes and station wagons. It's a reflection of a growing nation, confident in its stride, yet aware of its place in a changing world. The next step is 1951. America is in the midst of a powerful transformation. The echoes of World War II have not yet faded, but a new age of growth, innovation and Cold War tension is emerging. Amid this changing landscape, millions of Americans go about their daily lives, and in their pockets, they carry a small copper coin bearing the face of a president long gone, yet never forgotten. This is the story of the 1951 Lincoln Wheat Cent, also affectionately known as the Liberty Wheat Penny, a coin that holds not only monetary value, but historical weight. The Lincoln Wheat Cent was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. Its obverse features a right-facing profile of President Lincoln, solemn and dignified. The reverse shows two sheaves of wheat, standing proudly along each side, a tribute to America's agrarian roots and industrial promise. From 1909 to 1958, this iconic design remained virtually unchanged. And in 1951, it entered a new phase, becoming a symbol of mid-century strength and post-war prosperity. In 1951, Lincoln Wheat Pennies were minted at 3 facilities across the United States. Mintage: 284,576,000 coins located in the heart of America's oldest city. This was the original U.S. Mint, striking coins for both commerce and prestige. Mintage: 625,355,000 coins situated at the foot of the Rocky Mountains. The Denver Mint produced the highest quantity of 1951 cents, a staggering number that fed the needs of the booming post-war economy in the western states. Mintage: 136,010,000 coins, while the San Francisco Mint would cease cent production just a few years later. In 1951, it was still active, supplying coins primarily to the western U.S. and Pacific states. In total, over 1 billion Lincoln cents were struck in 1951. 1951 was a year of transition. The United States was embroiled in the Korean War, a conflict that defined early Cold War geopolitics. At home, the economy surged forward. Veterans from World War II had returned and were now raising families, building homes, and fueling a baby boom. There was a sense of unity, growth, and resilience. Coins like the 1951 Wheat Penny passed hands in diners, gas stations, and corner stores, part of the rhythm of daily life in a dynamic America. Composition: 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc. Weight: 3.11 grams. Diameter: 19.05 millimeters. Edge: plain. Designer Victor David Brenner. Initials VDB appear on the reverse at the bottom rim of early issues, but were removed after 1909 and later restored to the obversa in 1918. The reverse bears the motto E Pluribus Unum, flanked by the words 1 cent and United States of America, a reminder of unity and value during turbulent times. Most 1951 wheat pennies that remain today exist in circulated condition. Color often brown or dark brown, with some showing faint reddish tones if better preserved. Expect soft details on Lincoln's cheek and jawline. The wheat stalks on the reverse may be worn or flattened. Grade range, very good VG8 to extremely fine EF40 is most typical. Value in 2025, between 5 cents and 25 cents, depending on condition and mint mark. Despite their age, they are still common, especially the 1951D. Due to the high mintage and widespread circulation, finding a 1951 wheat penny in uncirculated condition is a different story. These coins, known as mint state MS, show no signs of wear and often retain their original copper red luster, RD red full, bright copper color RB red brown, a mix of original red and toned brown BN brown, fully toned due to oxidation MS62 MS63, slight contact marks, duller luster MS64 to MS65, sharper strike, fewer marks, brighter. Red MS66 Plus, premium quality, very sharp detail and surfaces mint M63, RBM65 RDM66, RD 19,515 $1,020 $3,050 plus $1,951D $3,710 $2,035 $1,951 $6 $1,525 $3,560 Note, I-grade 1951S coins are scarcer in MS66 or higher due to weaker strikes and fewer well-preserved examples. The 1951 wheat penny is not rare, but it holds historical appeal and offers a low-cost entry point for collectors. It's often part of daytime mint sets, one-a-year cent collections, educational tools for beginner numismatists. Collectors especially look for full red examples, sharp strikes, and original luster. While not likely to fetch thousands, premium condition coins are cherished for their preservation and beauty. While there are no major era varieties officially recognized for the 1951 Lincoln cent, some collectors seek off-center strikes, B errors, die cracks between B and E of Liberty, repunched mint marks, RPMs, especially on 1951S coins. These errors can increase collector value slightly depending on the severity and clarity of the mistake. The 1951 Liberty wheat penny is more than just a coin. It is a tiny time capsule, preserving the optimism, struggles, and resilience of mid-century America. Whether found in a forgotten jar, passed down through generations, or displayed in a collector's album, it whispers stories from the year when TVs were new, the Cold War was heating up, and America was charging ahead into its golden age. So, the next time you hold a 1951 wheat penny in your hand, pause for a moment, and remember, you're not just touching metal, you're holding history. The next step, 1958 Liberty wheat penny, would mark the end of a 50-year chapter in American coinage. It was the final year the U.S. Mint produced pennies with the beloved wheat reverse design, a farewell to a legacy that began in 1909. Let's take a deep look at the complete history, mint geography, circulation and mint state condition, and the lasting legacy of the 1958 wheat cent, first minted in 1909 to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The Lincoln wheat cent was designed by Victor David Brenner. It was revolutionary, the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. The obverse front of the coin features Lincoln's iconic profile, the reverse, two simple but elegant stalks of wheat curved inward, flanking the words 1 cent and United States of America. The top line reads E pluribus unum, out of many, one, from 1909 to 1958. This design reigned as a symbol of America's agricultural roots and industrial rise. The 1958 Lincoln wheat penny was struck at 2 U.S. mint locations. Mintage, 252,525,000 coins as the nation's original mint. Philadelphia served the eastern and central regions of the U.S. mintage, 800,953,300 coins. Denver handled the majority of U.S. coin production in the 1950s, especially for coins circulated in the western states. New San Francisco wheat pennies were produced in 1958. As that mint ceased cent production in 1955. 1958 was a year of momentum. The space race had begun with the launch of Sputnik in 1957. In response, the U.S. created NASA in 1958 to push the boundaries of technology and exploration. Back on Earth, American society was changing. Television was the new hearth. Suburban homes were expanding. Schools overflowed with the baby boom generation. And in this bustling post-war society, the 1958 wheat penny served as a unifying piece of currency. Touching millions of lives daily, the design of the 1958 wheat penny remained faithful to its roots. A right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln in God We Trust along the upper rim, Liberty to the left, the date 1958, to the right some specimens carry the demint mark for Denverta sheaves of wheat, bordering the coin-centered text. 1 cent, United States of America, E pluribus unum at the top. Composition, 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc. Weight, 3.11 grams. Diameter, 19.05 image. Plain designer, Victor D. Brenner. Initials VDB, appear on the obverse below Lincoln's shoulder. The majority of 1958 pennies in existence today are circulated, having passed through the economy for decades before being removed from active use. Color, usually brown BN or red-brown RB. Due to copper oxidation wear, flattened high points, Lincoln's cheek, jawline, and hair. Worn or smooth wheat stalks on reverse condition grades range from very fine VF20 to extremely fine EF40. Coinevg. Value 1958 $0. 05 menos $0. 151.958 D $0.0512. Because of the high mintage and widespread distribution, 1958 circulated pennies are common and affordable for most collectors. Though most 1958 wheat pennies circulated, many were saved in original rolls by collectors and banks, especially the Denver issue RD, red full. Bright original mint, red color arb, red-brown, part red, part toned brown bean brown fully oxidized MS62, MS62. Basic uncirculated, noticeable marks M63 to MS64, better luster, fewer abrasions M65 to MS66, excellent eye appeal, nearly flawless M67 plus, extremely rare in pristine condition, cone M63, RBM65, RDM66, RDM66, RDM67, Road 1958, P4 $815, $2,540, $60,125 plus 1958 D $3. $712, $2,035, $55,100 plus coins with full red luster, clean fields, and sharp strike command the highest premiums. The 1958's Wheat Penny is famous for one of the most valuable era coins in U.S. history. This extremely rare era features strong doubling on Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date. A few dozen confirmed examples exist at value $2025, $100,000, $250,000 plus. In top grades. If you think you've found one, get it authenticated immediately by a third-party grading service, PCGS or NGC. Repunched mint marks, RPMs, especially on 1958 off-center strikes, die cracks and Cudsby errors, die break between B and E and Liberty. These can add modest value for variety collectors. As the final year of the Wheat Cent series, 1958 coins hold a special place in numismatics. Collectors often seek full red mint state examples. She-grade den with coins with strong strikes. The elusive 1958 double die complete Lincoln Wheat sets 1909 to 1958. The 1958 coin is a perfect starter piece for young or new collectors and an essential final touch for longtime Lincoln enthusiasts. The 1958 Liberty Wheat Penny was the last of its kind, the final link in a 50-year legacy of design, culture, and economy. Just a year later, in 1959, the U.S. Mint would retire the wheat reverse in favor of a new design, the Lincoln Memorial Cent, commemorating the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The last step was 1957. Elvis Presley was climbing the music charts. The Cold War loomed large, and the launch of the Soviet satellite, Sputnik, would soon spark the space race. America was riding the wave of post-war prosperity and optimism. Highways were being built, suburbs expanded, and consumer culture exploded. Amid all this rapid change, one small copper coin quietly passed through the hands of Americans, the 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny, often affectionately called the Liberty Wheat Cent. More than just a piece of spare change, this penny carries a legacy of craftsmanship, economy, and national pride. Let's explore its complete history, geographic production, and the details that make it a favorite among collectors today. First introduced in 1909, the Lincoln Wheat Cent was the first American coin to feature a real person, President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin was issued on the centennial of Lincoln's birth and marked a major shift in American coinage. The obverse depicts a right-facing portrait of Lincoln. On the reverse, two wheat stalks gracefully arc along each edge, enclosing the words 1 cent and the United States of America. The 1957 issue stands as one of the final years of this beloved design. In just 2 years, the wheat reverse would be retired, replaced in 1959 by the Lincoln Memorial design in honor of Lincoln's 150th birthday. In 1957, Lincoln Wheat Cents were minted at 2 U.S. mint facilities. Mintage 282,540,000 coins as the nation's original mint. Philadelphia produced millions of Lincoln Cents annually for circulation in the eastern and central U.S. mintage. 1,051,342,000 coins. The Denver Mint struck over 1 billion Lincoln Cents that year, reflecting the massive demand for currency in post-war America. There were no San Francisco minted cents in 1957, as that facility had ended cent production in 1955. 1957 was a year of technological wonder and geopolitical anxiety. On one hand, cars, televisions, and diners filled American life with convenience and optimism. On the other, the Cold War was intensifying. When Sputnik 1 was launched by the Soviet Union in October 1957, it shocked the American public and government, igniting the space race and leading to the formation of NASA just a year later. The 1957 Wheat Penny passed through the hands of housewives buying groceries, factory workers, milkmen, and children buying comic books. It was a literal penny for your thoughts in an era of both anxiety and ambition. The 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny followed the standard specifications of its era. Designer Victor David Brenner Lincoln's right-facing bust with "In God We Trust" along the top, Liberty to the left, and the date to the right reverse. 1 cent. United States of America. Framed by 2 wheat stalks and topped by E pluribus. Composition 95% copper, 5% tin, and zinc. Weight 3.11 grams. Diameter 19.05 millimeters. Edge plain mint marks. No mint mark equals Philadelphia. D equals Denver. Brenner's initials VDB were reintroduced to the obverse in 1918, appearing at the truncation of Lincoln's shoulder. The majority of 1957 pennies that exist today are circulated, having spent decades in use before being retired. Color typically brown BN or red-brown. RMB due to copper oxidation where expect soft details on Lincoln's cheek, jawline and coat. Reverse wheat stalks may be faint or worn. Flat condition grades. Common grades include very fine VF-22, extremely fine EF-40. Philadelphia 5 cents 15 cents. Denver 5 cents 10 cents. Values remain modest in circulated condition due to the extremely high mint. These pennies are still easily found in penny jars, estate boxes, and antique stores, a testament to how deeply they were woven into everyday American life. While circulated 1957 wheat pennies are common, uncirculated mint state examples with original red luster are highly collectible. RD red, full original copper color. RB red brown, toned but partially red. BN brown, fully oxidized. MS62 basic uncirculated with numerous contact marks. MS63 to MS64, better eye appeal, fewer blemishes. MS65 to MS66, high strong strike, full red luster. MS67 and above, scarce, often graded by third-party services. PCGS NGC Ment M63, RBMS 65, RDMS 66, Road 1957 P3 $815 $2,540 plus 1957 D $2 $610 $2,035 plus. Due to widespread coin collecting and hoarding in the 1950s, many rolls of uncirculated 1957 D pennies were saved, making them readily available in mint state. The 1957 wheat cent does not have major known doubled die errors, but some minor anomalies exist. Repunched mint marks RPMs, particularly in the 1957D, where the D mint mark was punched more than once. Die cracks and cuds, off-center strikes. B error. Die break between the B and E in Liberty, forming a tiny I. While not all command high premiums, these varieties can be of significant interest to collectors. By 1957, the Lincoln cent had been in circulation for nearly 50 years. It was a familiar symbol of trust and stability, featured in vending machines, jukeboxes, school lunch payments, and newspaper stands across the country. The 1957 penny was likely one of the last wheat cents many Americans saw in daily use. After the reverse design changed in 1959, older wheat pennies began to slowly disappear from pocket change hoarded by collectors or phased out by banks. The 1957 wheat penny may not be rare, but it holds tremendous emotional and historical value. It's a favorite among beginner collectors. Thanks to its affordability and availability, Lincoln cent enthusiasts building full wheat sets 1909 to 1958. Nostalgic Americans remembering a simpler time when a penny had power high-grade coins with brilliant red luster and sharp strikes remained sought after for display albums and grading submissions. In 1957, America was preparing for the stars, even as it held tight to its past. The Liberty wheat penny from that year is a perfect symbol of this balance, a coin that honored Lincoln's legacy while quietly bearing witness to a nation on the brink of transformation. Today, the 1957 Lincoln wheat cent survives in coin albums and dusty jars, still glinting with the stories of those who spent them.